Hi, everybody. Welcome to English Digest. I'm Stephanie.
I'm Tom.
Hey, it's day 2 of our environment unit. We're talking about the wonderful bamboo, a fast-growing grass. But we're talking about it in connection with green construction, building things that are not going to harm the environment, but hopefully help it. Although some of this green stuff that comes along doesn't always help the environment, it turns out hurting it. So we'll see, but I think it's a great idea. You know, they built a lot of bamboo huts in very swanky, which is kind of fancy, expensive, kind of fun. Swanky, remember that as an adjective. Swanky vacation resorts that you could go and stay in if you go down to, say, Central America, Costa Rica, some of those countries. I've never stayed in one, though. Have you, Tom? Have you ever stayed in a bamboo hut?
Well, I'm not sure what it was made out of, but it seems like it was. I stayed in a bungalow in the Philippines once, many years ago. But I didn't really pay attention to what it was made from, but I guess it was bamboo because it did seem to have those, poles going up that were tied together and stuff like that.
Were you off the ground, lifted off the ground?
Yes, it's elevated above the ground. So if there's a flood or something like that, the bungalow or the hut will be okay. I suppose that's why it's called a bungalow, because it's sort of elevated a little bit. And when you walk around, it kind of makes noise, and that's kind of cool. Makes you feel like you're in a tropical paradise.
Yeah.
But in any case, yes, bamboo can be used as a wonderful construction material. We talked about a lot of the advantages to bamboo in our last program. It's cheap. It can regrow itself really fast. The roots remain in the soil, so there's less erosion. But the disadvantage is that there are only a couple of species that can be used for construction. Most other species of bamboo have problems with breaking and rotting and stuff like that. But as I suggested last time, well, you just grow more of the good stuff and you're all set. You're good to go.
It's a great idea. Yeah. If you're really interested in using bamboo as a construction material, you might want to check into that. So we're going to go through day 2, read through it, and then we'll be back. Upon seeing a bamboo building, you might think, there's no way that building could withstand a serious earthquake. It's far too light and airy. However, you'd be mistaken. Bamboo homes in Costa Rica survived a 7.6 magnitude earthquake in 1991. Wood and concrete houses in the same area were not so lucky and suffered substantial damage. Modern bamboo homes in the Philippines underwent a surprise trial by fire just after being built in 2020. A strong earthquake struck the area, but the bamboo homes were unaffected. While these homes were based on the traditional Filipino bamboo, Bahay Kubo, they have been updated to include panels of treated bamboo, strong plastic windows, and modern lighting. Manufactured by the company Kubo in a workshop in Manila, these homes are affordable and can be built quickly. They are also durable, expected to last around 50 years. This will help elevate the housing crisis in the Philippines, where there are currently around 4.5 million homeless people. And if the sustainable bamboo house concept works there, it could work elsewhere. Other benefits of bamboo construction are many. Bamboo, like all plants, draws carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere. However, unlike trees, bamboo can sequester carbon even after it's been harvested. This has a direct bearing on climate change, as carbon dioxide in the air contributes to changes in global weather patterns and temperature. Bamboo houses alone will not save us from climate change, but they and the visionary architects designing them are powerful tools in humanity's toolbox. Perhaps they will help us connect more closely with Earth and begin to feel the harm we have caused.
好，那 Okay, everybody, let's explain the contents of today's lesson. Again, we're talking about bamboo being the future of green construction. Bamboo, of course, has lots of uses, as we mentioned before. One thing we did not mention last time is that bamboo is a favorite subject of traditional Chinese painting. You're considered a master if you can paint bamboo and bamboo leaves really well. I took a calligraphy class back in university, and I sucked at it, basically.
Really bad, huh?
I couldn't really get the idea of painting bamboo and the leaves and stuff like that. But I suppose with practice I would have improved. But we're not talking about bamboo in terms of it being a subject to paint. Today we're talking about bamboo being a great material for construction, especially for green construction. And upon seeing a bamboo building, or when you see a bamboo building, as soon as you see a bamboo building, you might think, oh, there's no way that building could withstand a serious earthquake.
Right.
Indeed, if you look at a building made out of bamboo, you might think it's kind of fragile. Hey, it's just those bamboo poles that will probably fall down really quickly, and you'll think, it's too light, it's far too light, and it's airy. If something's airy, I guess it means it has lots of spaces. They're just poles, by the way, and you just make this scaffolding, and, I don't really know how they fill in the material between the bamboo poles because it's round. To me, it seems like it would be difficult to build things out of bamboo because they are just poles.
Yeah.
But I suppose there are ways to do it. But you'd look at it and think, oh, it's just so light and it's hollow. There's air inside. So how could that withstand an earthquake?
We're going to talk about how they're making panels in a minute. Before we move on, I wanted to mention that first sentence has this phrase upon seeing or upon verb ing. We use upon as a preposition, but if you've got a verb ing after it, which is also called a gerund, you're using it to say on this occasion or at the time of or immediately after. So you could say, oh, I was so joyful upon seeing my family for the first time in 2 years. So upon seeing them, immediately after seeing them, I was just so happy. So that's what that upon verb ing can be used for. So at the time of or immediately after, you can use this particular phrase. So yeah, I laughed when I first saw that sentence. There's no way this building can withstand a serious earthquake. That would be my feeling because I don't know enough about construction using bamboo. It's really light, it's airy, as Tom said, but you're mistaken if you had the same thought we did. Bamboo homes in Costa Rica, which is a country in Central America, survived a 7.6 magnitude earthquake in 1991. That's a huge earthquake. I know we've had some since I've been here that have reached 6 point something. 6.1, 6.0. Wow, that one was pretty scary. Every time you go up a full number, though, it goes up, 1,000 times, 100 times?
Something like that.
It's a much bigger earthquake. So to be able to withstand a 7.6 is pretty strong.
Right, and that happened way back in 1991, and lots of bamboo homes in Costa Rica survived that earthquake. They withstood that earthquake, but wood and concrete houses in the same area were not so lucky, and those structures suffered substantial damage. So the bamboo structures fared better than the concrete and metal homes, the concrete ones the wood ones. They probably all were damaged and they fell down, they collapsed and stuff like that. So I suppose Costa Ricanos realized that, hey, we need to build more homes out of bamboo and not concrete and wood.
Wait, say that again. People who are from Costa Rica are called what?
Well, in English you'd say Costa Ricans, but in Español se llaman Costarriqueños.
Costarriqueños. There's some Spanish for you guys. So yeah, that's pretty amazing. Actually, the bamboo outdid wood and concrete in the same area. Now, modern bamboo homes in the Philippines, where Tom experienced his bamboo bungalow, they underwent a surprise trial by fire just after being built in 2020. This is more recent, of course, to undergo Underwent is the past tense of the verb undergo. To undergo means you experience or endure something. We often use it to talk about operations. She has to undergo an operation today, or she underwent surgery last night. Trial by fire is kind of a fun little phrase we use. It doesn't mean actual fire, you guys. It just means you're testing your abilities or testing the ability of something, especially the ability to perform well under pressure or under bad circumstances. Trial by fire, learning something through difficult circumstances. So these modern bamboo homes in the Philippines went through or underwent a surprise, they weren't expecting it, trial by fire, or a situation where they were really tested just after being built in 2020. What was it that they had to undergo? Well, they had a strong earthquake that struck the area back then, but the bamboo homes were unaffected, which is really a moment to actually congratulate those who built those bamboo homes. Good for you guys!
Indeed, and of course we're talking about those modern bamboo homes in the Philippines. No, nobody tried to light them on fire. Of course, it was a trial by fire, which means they basically underwent some kind of testing because an earthquake struck there, and they withstood the earthquake, and those buildings could probably withstand the winds from strong typhoons, and they can probably withstand objects being thrown inside them when the wife and the husband start having a knockdown, drag-out fight or something like that.
Oh, dear.
Well, that's probably not going to happen, but in any case, that does bring us to the midway point in today's lesson. Let's take a break right now, and we'll be right back.
听众朋友大家好，我是安娜。我们昨天带大家看竹造屋，竹子这个可以当成建材很棒的一个材料。因为其实啊，如果你有看过竹造屋的话，你可能会觉得怪怪的，细细的都是竹子耶，真的可以吗？但是其实哦，在哥斯达黎加还有在菲律宾的那些竹造屋啊，他们都有经历很严重的地震，但是竹造屋都没有受到影响耶。这是我们第一段的大意。不过我们在第一段啊，第一句要特别注意一下最前面这里的 upon seeing a bamboo building。好，那当然第一句他说的是一看到竹造屋，你心里可能会想，这种房子不可能承受这么大的地震吧，又轻又不坚固。然而你错了。好，我们要看的是一个句型，叫做一怎么的时候。现在看到的是一个介系词，叫做 upon， 它也可以代换成 on。那么介系词后面只能加名词或动词 ing， 所以如果我们要说一看到竹造屋的时候，这个看啊，这个 see 就会变成动词 ing。upon seeing something。不过同样这个一怎么的句型，在英文当中很常用的还有其他的代换。比如说另外一组的连接词，你可以用 the minute 分那个字， the moment 或者是 the instant。你可以把 the minute, the moment, the instant 当连接词，后面再加整个句子。如果代换在这个句子当中，你可以说 the minute you see a bamboo building 逗点。好，那么另外一个三个字片语的连接词代换呢，就是 as soon as。那 as soon as 是连接词，后面也会加上句子哦。所以这句如果要代换成 as soon as， 就变成 as soon as you see a bamboo building 逗点。好，这是我们第一段当中很重要的一个句型复习。
We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Okay, everybody, let's continue to talk about those homes in the Philippines. Remember, there was an earthquake that occurred in the Philippines way back in 2020, which was just a couple of years ago, and the bamboo homes there were unaffected. They remained standing, and so I guess that convinced the people of the Philippines, as well as the people of Costa Rica, that using bamboo to build your homes is a pretty good idea. Now, moving on to the next paragraph here, it says, while these homes are based on the traditional Filipino bamboo, which has a name here, probably in Tagalog or something like that. They have been updated to include panels of treated bamboo, strong plastic windows, and modern lighting. So yes, we've got traditional bamboo in the Philippines. Filipino here, spelled with an F, is the adjective form that they use in the Philippines. If it's female, they'll say Filipina. And in this particular case, these homes used that particular type of bamboo, and the homes were updated to include panels of treated bamboo, strong plastic windows, and modern lighting. So if you improve something and bring it up to date using modern construction materials, you update that thing. So yes, the homes were updated, they were improved, and they included panels of treated bamboo. A panel is like a flat piece of something, so they take the bamboo and they cut it in a special way, or they treat it in a special way so that it's flat and can be used in construction, maybe to make wood paneling or something like that in the walls. And the windows, of course, were not made from glass because glass shatters rather easily. So these windows were made of strong plastic. And then, of course, they had modern lighting using LED lights and things like that.
Wow, plastic windows. I hadn't really paid much attention to that. That's interesting. I wanted to mention update as one of our vocabulary words. If you look in the dictionary, you'll often see the verb pronunciation is update, but most of us say update. So just so you know, both are correct. It just means you're changing something, making something newer by including the most recent information or changes that you need to make. You can also update things like your wardrobe. Maybe you feel like some of your clothes are kind of old-fashioned. They're not in style. You can update your wardrobe. So they updated things, included panels, which Tom talked about. Can't imagine making panels of treated bamboo because they're so round. It's fascinating to me that they can make them flat. So they're manufactured by a company called Kubo in a workshop in Manila. A workshop here, we often use it to talk about a business workshop where you go for a couple of days and you get to have practical experience learning new things in your particular field of business. But here, it's actually a place where things are made or repaired. Some people have workshops in their homes, or maybe in the garage, they have a workshop with all their tools and things. My grandpa had a workshop that was attached to his house, and he would go in there and work for hours on wood. He was a woodworker. So it's a place where you can make things, repair things, keep your machinery and tools for woodworking and metalworking, things like that. So they are manufactured in Manila, which is in the Philippines, of course. These homes are affordable, which means you can afford to buy them. They're not too expensive. They can be built quickly. They're also durable. If something's durable, it lasts a long, long time. Hopefully you're buying things that are durable, meaning they're strong, they're in good condition, they last a long period of time. Some things just aren't durable, and you have to just, face it and go along with it. And other things, you want to find things that are durable. If you're buying a refrigerator or a washing machine, you hope that the company that you buy from make durable products.
Indeed, and these homes are so durable that they are expected to last around 50 years. So that would probably be a very good investment. And this will help alleviate the housing crisis in the Philippines, where there are currently around 4.5 million homeless people. So I suppose if you're quite rich and you've got lots of money, the idea of having a bamboo house sounds kind of cute, but you probably would not want your luxury apartment to be made out of bamboo. But of course, you can make inexpensive homes using bamboo, and they want to alleviate the housing crisis in the Philippines. If you alleviate something, you make something less severe, less bad. Okay, so yes, of course, they've got a housing crisis there like they do in the U.S., like especially in Los Angeles, where there are homeless people living pretty much everywhere. And so the housing crisis means that homes are too expensive, so they need to alleviate that problem. And there are 4.5 million homeless people in Manila. And if the sustainable bamboo house concept works there, it could work elsewhere. So maybe that is a solution for finding homes for all these homeless people. And they want to have sustainable bamboo houses. If something's sustainable, it can keep existing for a long time and it can be easily repaired.
Yeah, you can use it without being completely used up. Some resource can be sustainable, like a sustainable energy source or resource. We'll often use that to talk about water resources and wind resources. It also, sustainable is used to talk about involving methods that don't completely destroy something once it's being used. Sustainable agriculture is popular, sustainable farming, sustainable fishing practices, things like that, where you could fish, but you don't deplete the entire ocean of the kind of fish that you're trying to farm or try to fish and eat. So, yeah, sustainable and being the sustainability factor is very important. And if the sustainable bamboo house concept works here, this idea, it could work elsewhere. As Tom mentioned, we have a lot of homeless in California because the weather's nice. And even though we've given the government millions of dollars, they still don't seem to have solved the issue. So, moving on to the final paragraph. There are other benefits of bamboo construction as well. Bamboo, like all plants, draws carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere. Carbon dioxide is that gas that's produced when people and animals breathe out. When we breathe out carbon dioxide, we breathe in oxygen. And that is drawing carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere. The plants are itself. The plants need carbon dioxide to breathe, to live. They actually do very well with carbon dioxide. The atmosphere, of course, here is just being used to talk about the whole mess of air that surrounds our Earth, our planet. That's the atmosphere, the Earth's atmosphere.
Right, and here it goes on to say, however, but unlike trees, bamboo can sequester carbon even after it's been harvested. So you may have heard of this concept before. We're worried about carbon in the atmosphere, so people are talking about carbon sequestration, I guess that's the word, and the verb is to sequester, which means to separate something from something else. I usually hear this word when I hear about trials. They sequester the jury. They take the jury and separate them from everybody else so they cannot be influenced by other opinions. In this particular case, you want to separate the carbon. You want to sequester it and store it someplace else, but it will remain in the bamboo, unlike trees, and the trees will release it into the atmosphere after the trees have been cut down, and that's not good.
So this carbon dioxide in the air contributes to the changes in global weather patterns and temperature. To contribute to means you are helping to cause something to happen. Maybe you're on a basketball team or a badminton team. You contribute to the team's success by practicing hard and winning these tournaments and games and things, these matches that you participate in. You can contribute in a lot of ways. We usually use contribute with that word to, contribute to something else. You can contribute to the team's success. You could say, oh, heavy drinking contributed to someone's death. So that heavy drinking helped cause the death. So contribute to. Here we're using it to talk about helping to cause something to happen or take place.
And bamboo houses alone will not save us from climate change, but they and the visionary architects designing them are powerful tools in humanity's toolbox. If you're visionary, that means you look to the future and you seem to know what you're doing and you can see things that other people can't see. So these architects are designing these buildings for the future. And perhaps they will help us connect more closely with Earth and begin to heal the harm we have caused. Not only that, though, I think bamboo actually looks kind of cool if you build a fence out of bamboo, build furniture out of bamboo, or even the whole house itself. And I ought to start looking into that myself because there is lots of bamboo available here in good old Taiwan. Okay, that brings us to the end of our explanation for today. Let's listen now to our Chinese teacher.
那么当然我们讲到竹造屋并没有受到地震的影响，但是虽然这些房子是用传统的菲律宾竹子的那种这个材料为基础，但是其实已经经过改良了啦，然后也有加装一些处理的竹子所做成的一些其他的像是坚固的塑料窗户还有一些照明设备。我们在第二段的第一句一开始看到一个 while， 在英文当中特别注意一下， while 除了可以当 when 表时间的意思之外，还可以当成although 虽然表让步，就承认一个事实。although 虽然 OK 这些建筑物是竹子，但是其实也有加装一些其他的建材，让它更为坚固，然后呢更为现代化。所以 while 在这里是 although 的意思。好，那么当然我们现在看到的这些房屋呢，其实是在马尼拉有一个 Kubo 这个公司它的一间厂房，而且价格实惠，又可以快速的建造哦。我们在第二段第二句看到很重要的分词构句。好，因为第二句一开始是一个 PP 过去分词 manufactured by the company 点点点点点，一直到后面的逗点。这个 manufacture 指的是大量制造的意思，而且我们经由后面的 by 推测它是被什么公司制造，但是谁被什么公司制造其实这个被什么制造的主词是出现在逗点之后的 these homes， 也就是菲律宾的这些竹造屋。好，言下之意就是句子如果没有被简化之前，本来应该是 these homes are manufactured by， 然后句子接着一直到马尼拉逗点之后，本来还有一个连接词的 and， 而表示连接逗点前后的两个句子，这些房子呢很经济实惠，又可以快速建成。那我们如果把逗点之后的 and 删掉，我们带的只是一个文意，由什么公司来制造，那么前面的主词跟动词 be 动词就可以直接简化，因为在句子简化当中 be 动词会变成 being， 可是在简化里面 being 又会被删掉，因为 be 动词本身是没有意义的。那么主词都是 homes 这些房子，所以最前面的主词 these homes 还是可以删掉。好，那么这是一个分词构句，句子的简化。不过接下来的第四句呢，也有一个重点，因为逗点之后有一个 where 到句尾的地方，我们这里可以左右括号。好，那么先行词是 the Philippines， 逗点之后的 where 我们看到是关系词没有错，但是它是一个关系副词。这个关系副词的意思是什么呢？所谓的关系就是连接的关系，所以这个关系就叫做 and，它本来是一个连接词的词性，后面的 where 指的是地方，那么语义上是哪个地方呢？一定是逗点前面指到的那个地方，也就是菲律宾。换句话说，逗点之后的 where 你可以给它等于 and in the Philippines。 为什么要提到这个呢？因为第四句其实提到的是如果可以经济实惠、快速建成，又可以抗地震的话，其实有助于缓解菲律宾的住房危机。因为在菲律宾逗点 where 目前有450万人是无家可归的。好，那当然除了抗地震之外，其实这个竹造的建筑物还有很多其他的好处，比如说可以吸走二氧化碳啦，然后对气候变迁的改善是有这个好处的。我们在最后一段的第四句特别注意一下，逗点之后的 as 是连接词，根据文意它是表原因 because。 不过当然竹造屋的本身不能够抗所谓的全球暖化，我们还是需要呢好好的来保护这个地球。以上是我们今天的内容，我是安娜，我们下次见。
That is it for today. Thank you so much for joining us. And check out bamboo the next time you're building a house. You may like the results. From all of us here at English Digest, I'm Tom.
I'm Stephanie.
Goodbye.
Bye.